Hey folks, it's Lindsey Hudson with SPS back in the building over at Waverly High School for the SPS Combine Showcase, sponsored by Stars as well as Securian Financial Advisors of the Great Lakes. But I'm sitting here not only with my guy Terry McCord Jr. holds me down, but another great young man, not just throughout the state, throughout the country, and a personal great friend of mine, Mr. Joshua Langford. What's up, man?
What's up, my guy? How you doing, man?
Excellent, man. Good to see you. Glad to have you out here. Appreciate you being our guest speaker today for the SPS Stars Combine. Tell us what's been going on with you since your transition, and what are your thoughts about coming out and being a participant in today's event?
Yeah, so I actually got a job in the multicultural business program.
Oh, great.
Business school as a program coordinator.
Oh, great.
Yep. And then I also will be doing some things with Big Ten Network.
Wow.
As a TV analyst in the studio. So things are going well for me there. And then, I'm just excited to be able to come out with you guys, spend some time with you. I think it's very important to pour back into the younger generation because they're our next group of leaders.
You're absolutely right about that. And I was having that thought just yesterday as far as what role I play in doing that. Terry, you're sitting here with someone that you have a great amount of respect for. Tell me what it's like from your perspective to have watched Josh when you were a high school athlete, transitioning now. You're very much a formidable force in the sports world. But what is it like to sit next to him and just give me your opinion of what it's been like watching him and your opinion of Josh Langford? Now, he's sitting right next to you, so be careful what you say now.
No, all good things for real, because my senior year, when I got injured, my concussion, that ended my football career. And so just seeing, you battle through your, through the injury, that was like the first thing that drew me in, not only because you're a good player on the court, but I was just like, dog, like for him to battle through that and to continue to come with the smile on your face, that was really pushing me through it. And just seeing your faith in God and just seeing like the passion and the career that He has for you. And so it was just amazing just to see that and to see you take that leadership role last year, like just to see you take the just a sense of urgency to be like, I'm the leader. I've been here before, kind of lead the guys the right way. And I honestly think that that's what's going to make this team coming up so good, because that you left a good foundation for them to come in and kind of get it going. So that's what really drew me in.
Excellent point, Josh. So when you hear that, I'm reminded of the last season, seeing you on your knee scooter, which actually promoted me to go get one when I had an Achilles issue. You were so good, but you were definitely courage under fire, so graceful. So when you hear Terry give his perspective of what he saw, and when you're reminded of what that was like, tell me what it's like from your perspective going through that and just hearing what other people saw and how they were inspired by you.
Well, I think I had a conversation yesterday with somebody, and I was telling them how a lot of times when you're going through your journey, you can't see what the journey is doing to you because you're in it, and you can't see what the journey is doing for other people because you're in it. So you can't take that outside. I'm looking from the outside in perspective because you're actually in it. And so going through that process, it was tough for me. A lot of people, they commend me about my attitude and things of that nature, but personally and internally, I was going through it. It was tough. And so just hearing the people say the certain things that they say, like him saying what he just said, is definitely humbling. And then it also just shows me that it's just the grace of God, because I know how I was actually feeling. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody really seen how I was actually feeling, they may not have that same perspective. That's how I know it was just the Lord shining His light through me.
Yeah, you're such a great representative of the greatest CEO in the galaxy, and you do a great job with that. So what message do you have for the young people, not only with the message you may share later on today with your comments, but when 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, and 12th graders, and for you were like the state, Mr. Basketball for each of those grades, when you were back in Alabama. But what message do you have for them as it relates to preparing yourself to get to the greatest stage, which is the collegiate stage, and potentially beyond?
Well, I think it's simple, and I kind of want to talk about it today.
Sure.
It's just one word, and it's just honor. And I think so many times we get really complex, and we try to get really deep. But I think when you submit to living a principle-based life, it'll lead you to fulfilling your potential and your purpose. And the reason why I say honor is because simply honor means having high esteem for something, respecting something. You understand that it doesn't belong to you. It's just like when you get in the car with somebody that you don't usually eat in the car with them. When you get get your food, you like,
Yeah.
you kind of hesitant because
Right.
you like, can I eat in your whip?
Don't be leaving no fries in the car, man.
You hesitant because you know it doesn't belong to you. And so that's the whole message that I want to give the whole younger generation is that principle of honor. Because when you have that principle guiding your life, you will see yourself elevate and be promoted.
Oh, I love it. We got Josh Langford here doing some great things. Terry, any final question for Josh before we let him get out of here and get started with the rest of the day?
That's so deep. I mean, my guess would just be, my question would be, what impact and what purpose do you think you're trying to leave with the Big Ten Network and with your place in the multicultural business?
I think I just want to leave all that's on the inside of me. And I can't even tell you I can't even tell you all that's on the inside of me because I don't know all of me. I'm still learning myself.
So you want to be vulnerable?
Yeah, and I think we talk about legacy from the standpoint of what does life look like after you leave, but I think legacy is also you can speak about legacy from the standpoint of what does a room look like when you leave. So what is the Big Ten Network? What is the multicultural business program going to look like? Not just when I stop doing it, but when I just leave the day. When I leave my job, what did I leave behind at my job that day? When I leave the studio after I get done doing a session with the Big Ten Network, what did I leave on the TV on the segment that day? So that's kind of my perspective.
That's so real.
That's wonderful. Yeah. We got some great things to do. We're going to be able to follow Joshua Langford, not only his basketball career, but his career beyond. I'm grateful that you're going to have a chance to sit in front of the camera to continue to put a message out of inspiration, and the fact that you can remind us of their strength and vulnerability. Yeah. You're not coming up here saying, no, man, I got to be this, and that. You say, we're going to see. Right. And there's power in that. So with that, we're going to let things go. This is Lindsey Hudson with SPS, Terry McCord Jr., and Mr. Joshua Langford. We really appreciate you and what you're doing, and we want to thank SPS sponsors, Security and Financial Advisor of the Great Lakes. I want to thank Stars as well, and we see you guys next time. Take care.
It wasn't who I was. Does that make sense? Basketball was something that I did, but it didn't define me. But it didn't really define me as a person. Well, it shouldn't define me as a person. It was defining me, but I realized that it didn't have to define me. What do you think when I say that? Somebody raise their hand. Give me an answer. What do you guys think when I say what I just said? Say it loud. It's more to me. He said it's more to me than basketball. Anybody else?
Like just because you didn't have a good game doesn't mean like you're a loser or something.
Oh, say that loud. Say that loud.
Just because you might not have had a good game doesn't mean like you're a loser or something. Like that's not your only defining factor.
Right. So one of the most freeing things we can do in life is be able to separate ourselves from what we do personally for yourself. Like I'm not going to speak from a medical standpoint because I don't know everything. I'm not a doctor. But personally for yourself, when you get injured, be honest about how you feel. And this is not just for injuries, this is for life. When something makes you mad, how many people here get mad? Okay, I just had to make sure, because if you don't get mad, I had to see if you're really a human. How many people get sad? How many people get happy? How many people get afraid? I get scared. I'm just being honest. But the biggest thing is, the reason why I asked that question is because we all have emotions. And if you don't express how you feel about something, what you're doing is, it's almost like you're bottling yourself up to the point to where you won't be able to do anything. So what happened to me after my second injury is that I wasn't honest about how I felt. And so because I wasn't honest about how I felt, people didn't know it, but I went into deep depression. Because I was trying to lie about how I felt about the injury. One thing that was going to happen in life is you're going to have things that happen to you that you don't expect. That's life. And so it's not about those things not happening. It's more about you being honest about how you feel about those things. So not just when you get injured, think about getting injured from a place of not just physically, but emotionally or mentally. When you express how you feel, what you're doing is that you're giving yourself the freedom to be okay with the position that you're in right now. Because if you can't free yourself in that moment, you'll never be able to get to where you want to go.